I hope you're well. I'm Gabriella Buckingham. I've been an artist for over 30 years now, mostly as an illustrator, but for the last 5 or 6 years I've been working purely as a fine artist and online educator as well. And today I'm just going to talk to you briefly about what I do when I want to paint in a fluid way on my acrylic paintings, much like you do when you use ink. I don't know about you, but I love drawing with ink. It's just so random. You get all sorts of surprises happening, and of course it's very thin and fluid, so you can extend your mark making much further than you would if you were using thick acrylic paint. So the best thing I find to use is what I'm going to show you now. This is a bottle of golden high flow acrylics. Not a paid promotion, let me assure you. But this is fantastic if you want to paint as if you're working with ink. This is a brand new one, so I might have already unsealed it. Let me have a look. No, I haven't. So they always come with a seal because they're so runny. They really are like ink. They're actually designed to, just going to use this fork over here to get in there. They're actually designed to not be very easy to get into, to use for airbrushing. So that's why the ink is, or rather the paint is really, really fine. I don't usually have this like properly getting the lids off, but isn't that always the way when you're on camera? Right, that's not very well done, but it's done enough that it will flow out. So I'm going to put this back on, and I've already given it a good shake, so hopefully it will come out of the nozzle nice and easily. You can see how runny it is. So I'm just going to cover the bottom of this jam jar with it and then use it to draw with. It's as simple as that. And the beauty of this is, because it's not ink, when you come to paint over the top of it, if that's what you want to do, then it's just going to sit there. It's not going to smudge in any way. So I'm just going to dip my, I think it's a size 6 brush into it, and this is raw umber, this colour, and just have a go at drawing something. I might try that spoon, which is quite challenging with all these prongs, and you're welcome to zoom in and do the same. So I'm just going to do it quite large, so I've got a feeling of freedom with it, and just sort of blind draw it really. I'll tell you when I look at the paper, because I might find that I've done it too big. So far I'm not, but I can see sort of vaguely what I'm doing. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. And I do actually finally look properly. I can see it's going to be a bit of a strange shape, but I'm just trying to move my eye along the edge of the spoon. Ah, yes, it's much chunkier and wider, but I like it. So now I'm just going to go around sort of vaguely looking to do the kind of finer details of it, and then I might come in and correct it a bit more. We'll see. But really, this is just to experience what it's like to actually use this type of paint. So that's much too fat. And also, I'm going to have a go at using the brush on its edge to do some tonal work as well. You can see how like watercolour it is. And obviously, I mean, I didn't wet this brush before I started, but if I had, this wouldn't be nearly as dark. It's obviously got some moisture on it, but that might have been from yesterday or from when I washed it up. So this line here, I'm just going to change that slightly in interest of just exploring what it should be like. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun using this technique and then coming in with paint over the top and seeing what can be seen underneath. Obviously if I use very thick paint on top of this, it's just going to cover it up. But if I use glazes, that could work really well. I don't mean necessarily with this particular image at all, because it really is just a sort of fairly tentative thing, really. Now I'm just going to have a look and observe the shadow, because there is one, not very big, not very dark rather. And of course, because I put this in a jar that's clean and sealable with a lid, I can keep this and work on it, or work with it quite a lot, probably in the next week or so, before I need to top it up. I did put some water on this, didn't I? Just going to, again, use the side of my brush if I can. And I'm only using one brush here. Obviously you could use different brushes to get different effects. I love using brushes on their side. You get a really nice, unexpected, or rather you get really nice unexpected things happening. And if I had a bit more space, I could go along here, because the shadows are actually extending out right out here, so they would be over here. And this is where negative space comes into play as well. Getting a bit carried away now, because essentially it goes all the way round over here where it gets darker. But for purposes of showing you what this high flow is like, that's it really, until I show you what it's like with glazes and on a canvas, for example. That's definitely something I'll come back and show you. So this line here didn't really work, but it has got quite a nice feel to it. Yeah. Hello, I hope you found that interesting and you're desperate to get yourself some high flow. I'm going to be exploring it a lot more. I think it's going to be great for my practice, because I'm really interested in incorporating line into my painting. And I work with acrylic paint almost exclusively. I have done some oil painting, and that might be something I explore a lot more in the future. In fact, I'm sure I will. But at the moment, I really love the layering that you can get, the quick layering you can get with acrylic. All you need to do is use your hairdryer over a painting, and it's touch dry very quickly, depending on how thick your paint is, of course. But with something like this, with high flow, you're going to be able to dry it very fast and build up layers of richness. So you can either use lots of layers of high flow if you want a kind of watercolour effect, or you can bring in thicker paint, and that's what I'll be doing, because that's what I primarily have. So I will be back at some point to share what I discover, and I'm going to be going through this in more depth in the experimental still life experience, which starts very soon on January the 20th. But I am actually enrolling students right the way through till the end of February, because it's a great course and you will have plenty of time to catch up. So if you've enjoyed that short video, please do subscribe, and you can use the little bell to get notifications for when I'm going to be going either live or when I published a new video. At the moment, I'm aiming at publishing fortnightly each Wednesday. Now I might pop up at any other time. You never know. Thanks for watching. Bye.